Did it go live? Okay. A short one tonight. Hey, Dana B. We got Professor Falcon. Cold in Phoenix. What is it, like 68 degrees or something?
I was back.
I remember one time it actually snowed in Tucson. Everybody freaked out because there was snow falling. End of the world in Tucson.
Where, Phoenix?
No, Tucson.
I mean, Arizona is what I meant. I apologize.
Yeah, Tucson, Arizona. Tucson's more south than Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's very, very rare, but I seen it, and I actually riding around on a motorcycle at the time. T-shirt.
Oh, what happened to that building that fell? I want to say Dallas today. They had it was a couple of buildings that just fell right into the street there.
I don't know. I didn't hear nothing about it. I haven't even looked at the computer or anything.
Northern Arizona gets lots of snow. I can understand that.
Yeah, I know that. But Phoenix being cold,
Dana B says hello.
Everybody say hey.
She says hello.
Hey, Thor Heavy. How are you doing, Lewis? Bubble Bibble. We got Lakes in here.
My heroes coming up. I mean, how many people do you see fight with a hammer?
Oh, never mind. It's only 1 minute in.
I didn't say it. Look at there, Kitty Puss has got to get in the picture. Hey, Kitty. No, I'm over here on the other side.
It's part of chat. You know that.
No, he's right there on camera. Oh, I ain't got TV on. Hey, Kitty. Now, which one is that one again?
That's Rugnut.
Rugnut.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
Hey, Ninja. B Charming's in here.
Oh, that even the most devoted. Yeah, I better hit mute on the boutique here. Are you serious?
What?
I'm gonna have to watch it after the stream tonight. I can't tell you up here. It's on YouTube. Now I got a commercial on your channel.
Yeah, I love how there's a certain videos that I did this week that I turned things off of and still got ads on them. So it does no good to turn off monetization because they still put the ad on there. So you might as well put the ads on.
They're gonna get their money, and that's how they get money. We both know that.
Yeah.
You know, we up on their platform. So,
yeah, they're in business to make money. I understand that.
I do too.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like if they hinder somebody, everybody should get hindered, not just one
group of people.
Group of people, yeah.
Right. You know, it's politics. Rules for me. I mean, rules for thee and no rules for me. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Hey, Lady D. Hey, hello, GG.
Lady D, what's up, lady? I love Dana B's thumbnail.
Yeah, I'd like to have a bunker too, and not on a green screen. Somebody left me a nasty comment when I did I did this number like this, or wait, it was like this, and they said they seen me pull the covers because I went to grab the green screen, and it looks like I'm grabbing the covers, and I pulled the covers off the bed. I said, okay.
Man, I'm not even good. I like to know what he was smoking. I like to have some of it.
I actually had to go back and look and see it and watch it again, because I was like, really? And I was like, nothing moved. It's hilarious though. Hey, Jason. Well, today we're gonna go over because this is a main thing. You know, there's always the talk of lone wolf during a shift thing, or whatever the case could be, and that they can't survive and all this. And I think that's a bunch of baloney. Now, that I'm not saying that everyone who would decide to be a lone wolf would be able to survive, because there are some people that can't go a week without talking to somebody before they go cuckoo.
Exactly.
But there are some that could go years and not even think about it.
Oh, hell, they'd be in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of military people that prove it every day. They never talk to anybody. They live on the streets because that's the way they want to. They don't want to be around people.
Now,
And
Jason,
there's many reasons why, and I'm not going to go into the reasons why they want to be alone and everything, but
man, depending on the circumstances, I think a lone wolf would stand a better chance. But if you're in a mag, you know, I ain't gonna say no huge mag, maybe 7 to 10 people. You know, you'll stand a better chance.
You can't say that though.
Exactly, you can't. It depends on the situation.
Exactly, because there could be a couple in that, or 2 couples in that ruin the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, now let me ask this for you, okay? Let's say you got another group of people coming in to take everything you have, and you got a baby in your mag. What do you do? Because the possibility is the baby's going to start crying or something like that.
Well,
I've never heard that question answered.
There are ways around it. It doesn't seem very nice, but there has been a TV show that you can't make any noise, or these weird monster things come and eat you, basically,
right,
and take you away. And what they did on the second one, because they had a baby, is they created this soundproof, I'm going to say it's a casket, but it was like a cradle, but it was soundproof, where they fed oxygen into it. And if the baby was crying, you didn't hear it. Now, I'm not saying that's what would happen or anything, but How long have we been on this earth? How long has there been babies when bad stuff is happening and babies have to be quiet?
I'm gonna say the beginning of time.
Yeah, that's why it's not like it's the first time something that's been like this. And depending how long you're growing up in that situation or how long you've been in that situation, you would adapt to it. Like if power went off right now, of course, nobody will be able to watch us, but if power went off right now, a good 80% of the population would be gone in a month. And that's scientists and everything saying this. This is not me saying it, because there would be a mass deletion of people because they don't have that thing in their hand that tells them what to do every day.
Exactly.
And then it's the ones that don't know what to do, and they just crawl in a corner somewhere and they just
Ball up.
delete themselves.
Well, now, and I'm going to say 90% of chat also understands what I'm fixing to say. The elders, yourself, myself, 101, ones like that.
101's not an elder.
Well, compared to some of the people that's going to be out here, okay? We know what to do. And most of us has been around long enough that we did all this before the internet came out. We knew
in the movie, Robert.
You saw that, huh? But but the elders, when this happens, and I'm including myself in on this, okay? We're going to be one of the first ones to be deleted because we got to have medicine. Now, the young ones that are in good shape, that don't have to have medicine or anything like that, when we start dying off, well, shit. When we start leaving this world, they're going to be by themselves. They're not going to know nothing. And
I would say some medicine, the first thing I would do if I knew.
Thanks a lot, Robert. Ha ha.
Like if I knew the grid wasn't coming back anytime soon, because they said if the grid is destroyed by an EMP, it'll take 10 years to repair it.
Yeah.
And that's in the cities. If you're outside, it's going to be longer. Now, in that 10 years, there's not going to be no, TV, government coming by giving you groceries and stuff like that.
Oh God, no. That means the wildlife, you think it's plentiful now, it's going to be just about gone within what, 30 days, 60 days or whatever?
Well, I wouldn't say right away, because there's a lot that don't know anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it'll be a while before that comes down, because during the Depression, it almost took like 8 years before wildlife started getting scarce.
Well, see, I guess what I was trying to say is, for the people that know something, grab a youngin. Well, I ain't gonna say youngin, but grab you a very young adult. Start teaching them now. You know, I don't care if they don't want to leave the cell phone. You know, take them camping. Start taking them fishing, learning. You know, what to do with the fish, how to clean a fish.
Well, the thing is, do you know how much how much land it takes for one person to survive on a certain area of land?
Depending on where you're located at.
Well,
Me,
even if you're in the desert, there's ways to survive in the desert.
yeah, but that I don't know. But for me, where I'm
If
at now,
I'm talking in the wilderness, like living off the land. It takes
living off
2.5 acres for one person. And you may think that, well, that's huge, but it really isn't that much land. 2.5 acres is not that much.
I'm sitting on 3 acres right now, and I
Yeah.
wish I had more.
Well, that's technically not wilderness, though. I'm talking like
Way out there.
straight out in the woods.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that doesn't count after something like this would happen, because eventually people got to eat, and they'll start doing the hunting thing, the fishing thing. There'll be no regulations, saying that I caught a 11-inch bass, I got to throw it back in. No, you're going to eat that thing.
Yeah. I've been fishing with a guy who would end up eating the bait at the end of the day, but how many people know how to set up a lean-to, how to set one up while it's raining?
Hey, thank you, Lewis, for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. I keep forgetting to do this too.
New channel member. Thank you for your support.
There we go. I keep forgetting to push that button.
But to get back to it, it depends on the situation. If you want to become a lone wolf, or I think it's nice to have a mag at all times. But then again, you do need some lone wolves in that mag.
Well, I wrote down a lot of stuff about, the advantages of both. So,
let's hear them.
If a lone wolf has a stockpile of enough supplies, he or she will have no need to share their resources with anyone, unless, family members, and then you could go take it to them or whatnot. But this way their resources last a lot longer. If a group are sure to, in a group, resources will dwindle a lot faster. And that's if everybody in the group is not putting in work in putting their amount in, supplies will go down even faster. Making sure that you have enough food, water, is key to keeping yourself going, and staying well, plus having the right medicines and antibiotics and all that stuff, because if you get hurt, you're the only one there.
Mm-hmm.
And to heal yourself, you got to make sure you have a stockpile of stuff there that you don't have to go out when you're already hurt.
Now, John Johnson asked the question, how does a diabetic survive in the bush more than 6 weeks? Have you a book, a manual on local herbs in your area and learn what those certain herbs are good for?
It depends what kind of diabetic you are too.
Correct.
And that's a very, very good question to ask your doctor. How do I survive
if you got a good doctor?
I don't get any more medicine from you? What happens if medicine's cut off? I have to know how I'm going to continue without this medication.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're a good doctor, they'll work with you. Like I said, if they're a good doctor. What was this other one? Being a lone wolf is a lot easier to get around. You don't have to wait for somebody. If you're older, you can find places to rest, and you don't feel rushed. It works both ways with that. It's a lot easier to sneak around, and there's disadvantages to that too. So, one of the disadvantages is when there's a group of bad guys, we'll put it that way. If you're by yourself, it's you against that group. And having more people with you is the advantage. Now, again, there's an advantage to that. If you're by yourself, it's a lot easier for you to get away from that group without going back and trying to help somebody else get away from there too. So every time there's an advantage for something, there's always a disadvantage. And that's the same way with pretty much everything, but that's ways of looking at it. Now, the main one that everybody's going to say is an advantage or disadvantage is being social. There are some people that can go months and months and never talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there are some people that can't go a day without reaching out and talking to somebody. So you've got to look at it. What type of person are you? Are you somebody that needs somebody to talk to? Or can you go months without talking to somebody? Because there are people out there that are just content to be out in the woods and just, not really care if there's somebody come by or not.
Well, now, I think me and my wife together could be a lone survivor, because we really don't talk to nobody except for one another. Like, yeah.
Oh, I could just see you two going through the woods. Come on, woman. I'm coming. You don't quit, I'm gonna hit you over the head with this skillet.
No, I think it would be the other way around. Oh man, would you come on and quit pedal farting around?
Rick, I found something.
I found something I think we can eat. I ain't eating no tree bark.
What do you want?
Your choice of weapons. Now I've got two.
Jeff.
I know. What would be your choice? Okay, 3.
Oh, mine's always going to be a 22.
Well, see, I've got 3. A double deuce, a bow, or a slingshot. Believe it or not. And a slingshot can do just about as much damage as a 22 can.
Will you sit down somewhere?
Especially if you got marbles.
Nobody wants to see. No, you want steel bearings.
Well, when you get hit in the foot,
marbles will shatter.
Exactly, especially when they get hit in the forehead.
Well, there it doesn't make any difference unless they're wearing a helmet. But a steel bearing will actually go through, and I've seen the video, and I don't have one with me right here. I did used to have one right there.
You talking about a wrist rocket?
Yeah, but it's not a normal wrist rocket. There,
okay.
You put fatter bands on them, and if you use the steel bearings, it will actually go through armor.
Okay.
If like I said, if you use the marbles,
yeah,
because all they are is the cheap glass nowadays.
I'm not going to deny you on that. You know, and Dana B, I agree with you 100% on that right there. I think the distance on a 22 is, now I'm not talking, okay, for accuracy, I'm going to say a good half mile.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah. But then again, when you're in that situation, there ain't gonna be no half miles. You talking feet, more or less.
That's a different. That's a sidearm.
Yes, exactly.
And if you're a prepper, you don't prep for one thing.
Mm-mm.
And the main thing when you're a prepper is, like cutting devices. Instead of one knife, you have 3 knives.
Exactly.
Protection stuff. And when I say protection, it's just not for protection. It's for other things. You don't just have one thing. You have a sidearm. You also have a bow.
Right.
And when I say that stuff, you want to make it as light as possible.
And quiet as possible.
And a lot of times, because everybody says, because The Walking Dead, what's his name with the
Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl with his
crossbow.
The crossbow. That's nice if you can find crossbow or bolts throughout everywhere, but it's less likely that you can make those because most stuff will actually splinter and shred if you make your own bolt. Unless you can make it out of metal.
Or good aluminum.
Yeah, and I still would rather trust an arrow in a bow than a crossbow. Plus,
Well, look at it like this. You
how
got to sit
long? And not too many people can pull a crossbow back and reset it. You
there.
have to have that
Exactly.
pull and reset it.
Lever act.
And it takes a bit of time. They're good for that one shot, and then if you miss, then you have somebody coming after you, and it's like, oh,
You've been had.
yeah.
To me, and I'm gonna say it like this: arsenal. Okay, you got one for long distance, which is a good rifle. I'm not gonna say caliber. You've got a double barrel, which maybe 10, 15 yards out.
I wouldn't even bother with a shotgun.
Well,
That's just way too much extra weight to carry around.
But if you do it right, you can probably take out 2 or 3 in one whack. And then again, you got your sidearm.
Yeah,
And
that's what I mean. I would rather have a sidearm than a shotgun.
Well, when I'm like this, when it comes down to your sidearm, you might as well say you lost. But how many of them's gonna go before you do? That's how I'm gonna look at it right there. You know, you've got some heavy arsenal out there that can go up to 2 or 3 miles.
Oh yeah,
But it's like this right here. If you're not used to shooting like that, you might as well hang it up. You've lost because that first shot, they're going to damn near zero in on you.
Well, that's the. I didn't want to get too much into battling people and things like this because it's not going. It's more of a survival thing, not so much of we're going out there attacking people and people are attacking us type thing. The main thing is you don't want to be the person who is always trying to take stuff from somebody else, or you're going to be the one that are sneaking around, even if you're in a group. Confrontation is the last thing that you want to do, because even if you do have a confrontation, 300 people around you heard this thing going off, and where are they going to go? They're going to go straight to the noise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the last thing you want to do when you're trying to survive. And that's main reason I say 22, because you don't hear that. You can hear it, but less likely it'll carry as far.
Oh, I like Grace Johnson.
The sounds.
I love her comment. If they get too darn close, there's always my axe.
Yeah.
I want her in mine.
Yeah, that's why I got throwing axes in my and throwing axes can be used to split wood too.
Yes, it can. You know, just like I can't think of the name of it, like one of those stalls or whatever.
Yeah, just swift, silent, deadly. Yeah.
Until they holler.
Well, there's ways around that too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget your hard hat.
Yeah, really. All right, I'm gonna get.
OP. That's very true. And believe it or not, there are a couple of videos on that too, which I found surprising that they're still up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, let me say something, man. I want y'all to read between the lines. Oil filters come in very handy also. So, I'm gonna hush up and let you get back to what you was talking about. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay quiet, but
I'm gonna glue his mouth shut.
oh, she would love that.
Well, I wanted to hear from chat. Honest, answer this honestly. You have two things. You're gonna either be a lone wolf or you're gonna be in a mag or a group, depending if you don't know what a mag is.
He's on chat.
The whole purpose of this just to think about things in this nature. Could you be a lone wolf for 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean lone wolf to where you don't talk to anybody. You're out in the woods being a hermit, basically. Myself, it'd be easy. I've already done it.
I want Dana to be in my group also. But well, what I'm going to say is for another show.
And I'm getting a lot of both of them. There's Watt said he believes he could.
I believe I could. I believe me and the wife could.
Yeah, and that's the main thing in a mag is, and it would have to be everybody pulling their weight. And then we get in the conversation is there's that lazy guy that wakes up late, doesn't do what he's supposed to do.
That's for another show.
How do you deal with that?
Like I said, that's another show right there.
Yeah.
Send him on patrol.
Yeah, that's like I said, there's a lot of conversations about that we could have about mags.
Bill B, you did not.
Who's in charge of the mag? Is it just one person, or is it 3 to 5?
3
It is how do they deal with somebody that steals in their group? How do they deal with people who mess around with the leader's wife, or vice versa? How do you deal with that kind of stuff? And would you be able to live with that group after something bad had to happen for somebody that did bad things in the group?
I kind of agree with Marshmallow Man,
because you have to look at it one way, is if you tell them you're kicked out, leave. That person knows everything about your mag, where you're at,
exactly,
what your security is, and all that stuff. So, do you let them go? Do you lock them up? Do you delete them? Those are conversations that you have to have within that mag before anything bad happens.
But in order to get a mag up and going, everybody in that group has to be good at something, regardless if it's how to store, purify water, grow a garden, you know, the defense system. You know, everybody's got to be good at something, period. And whoever is the best in that field, I think that person, regardless, male or female, needs to be the leader. And then that leader can say, well, I want you in charge of so many people over there, like that. Just like a boss at a job.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't get the question. Yeah, it's that new fancy word for saying a group, basically.
Yeah.
It's that shift or doomsday lingo.
What? I don't think you would have to worry about that, because if the grid goes down, there's not going to be no power.
Yeah. If you can still find good movies that showed how it was back in the day, not these glamored up Hollywood deals. One of them that they traveled west from in 1883, I think it was 82 or 83. The Yellowstone remake one, or spin-off, I should say. That showed quite a bit of how things were. And a video game that was in the 80s, Oregon Trail, showed how it didn't do it in gory fashion or anything. It just told, well, so-and-so just died in this wagon because they got diphtheria. And that was from drinking water out of a stream or something.
Oh, seeing as how we're talking about drinking water out of a stream, why don't you talk a little bit about that? How do they know that the water? Right.
Unless you know where that water comes from miles upstream, you don't drink out of it. Not saying you can't drink the water, but there's a process into it. And I'm not a fan of the little life straws, because it's a crutch.
Great sounds. Yes.
They said it's 10,000 gallons that it can filter, which is hogwash, because it's 10,000 gallons of crystal clean water. If you got crystal clean water sitting right there. And again, it doesn't take out everything. If you live in a certain part of country that has muddy water, that thing clogs up in less than 5 gallons of water.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know when I was a kid coming up, old man took me down to the stream and to get water for the people doing tobacco. Okay. And where he took me to, there was a bunch of crawdads in that water. And he asked me, he said, you do know that the water right here is safe to drink, and you know how? I mean, duh, no, I didn't. He said, as long as you see crawdads in there, that they help filter the water, and it's drinkable.
Well, they won't be in the water.
Right.
Yeah.
But you got to look at it like this. They're not going to be in no creeks or rivers, really. They're going to be in something like a Argentina well like ordeal like that.
Well, they'll be in creeks. At least they are up here.
Damn, our water's so bad. I haven't seen none in creeks
Oh,
since.
just get, yeah, you won't be able to see them, but they're there. Because you throw a crawdad trap out there, come back, and usually you can catch a few.
Yeah.
And use them for bait, but there's a video that I liked, and I don't remember where I seen it, but this guy was sitting there drinking, and he showed it was nice, crystal clear water and taste wonderful. And they pan up the hill and over the ridge where he couldn't see, and there's a guy sitting there taking a leak in the creek or in the stream. And they pan up more, and there's a cow taking a dump, and then pan up more, and there's a dead deer up there. And moral of the story is just because it's nice and clear down there, it's not. You got to know where it comes from.
Well, it must be some good water.
Yeah, and further up there was a nuclear plant too. So
I thought you were gonna say there's a hog farm on up there. Yeah, could have been.
And that's the thing. But if you go out in the woods and you see a rock sitting there and there's water dripping off of it, and you dig in there and it's coming from inside the mountain.
Yep.
Chances are that's good water, because it's been filtered through the whole mountain.
Well, now I've got a cousin. Well, let me back up. I had an uncle who hand built his house up in the mountains. Okay. And at that time, there was water coming out of rocks like you talking about. And he made a slough from there to go into his kitchen sink. Now, I mean, he has long gone by now, but his youngins have the house. They have told me that water has never stopped running.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they drink it, they cook with it, but they also, they have a well and everything else. But they prefer to use the water coming off the mountain.
Yeah. And a lot of times, especially if it's a mountain, you can use those for electricity.
Oh yeah, hook up a water well, and if nobody has never drunk any water coming off the mountain, I'm gonna tell you what, that is some damn near ice cold water.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what I was getting at when people were going to out west and they didn't know any better because they grew up in cities and stuff where they had well water and stuff. And they get thirsty, drink right out of the streams, and they weren't around much. They were gone.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of bad stuff in the water. Look at another part of it is some girl went behind the bush to take a leak. Rattlesnake bit her on the behind.
Oh my goodness.
Man, what a way to go.
Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of those little things throughout the trip. They started out with a lot of people, ended up with 4 people, at the very end.
Well, what about tick viruses? You know, like yeah, you know, you had tick fever. You had
disease.
yeah, Lyme disease. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, like that right there.
Other people had that.
Yeah, there's always going to be, you know, bugs and things that you're going to get sick off of.
True.
I mean, there are right now. People get Lyme disease every day. It doesn't make
Yeah,
a
they
difference
are.
if it's grids down or other.
But you know, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, after the grid goes down, they're going to be moving out into the wilderness. Okay. And a lot of times, you really can't tell what ticks on you until it bites.
The funny thing is, nobody did. I think she passed quite quickly.
See, I thought about that, but I just didn't say nothing.
and then there was, you know, the bad guys that came by, and people running back and forth, not knowing what to do because they've never been in that situation. They've never had anybody tell them. So
Right.
what are you to do? They ran back and forth and they just got picked off left and right because, hey, this guy's running right in front of me. What am I going to do?
You believe in God?
And that happened a lot in those times. Those people going west to for better life, because the East has been packed for so long because it was so hard to get out west. So eventually it got so overpopulated, everybody wanted to go west.
Oh, look at what 357 posted.
Oh
I
yeah,
hadn't thought about that, but yeah, he's right.
yeah.
Opie.
And how many people know how to do that?
I sure don't.
And how do you know what to chew on so you don't get, because you actually get the effect of that poison too that's in your mouth.
Yep.
It's not as bad as the person got bit because they got full injected. And it depends where it's at and whatnot. You got to tie that off, and if you can't tie it off, it's pretty much, they're pretty much toast if there's no antidote or anything like that. And you see all the movies where they say, "Oh, do this," and they start sucking it out and whatnot. It's read books on it. That's what I'll say. Read books on it, because you just don't, you actually have to do an X, and it's extremely painful for the person because you actually have to squeeze extremely hard when you're doing pulling the stuff out.
What poisonous?
Yeah.
I've actually seen it done once, and it was on a leg, and they actually lost their leg because of it, and it was, I would say 5 seconds after it happened, and that guy was down there pulling that poison out, tied up the leg and everything, and got him to the hospital and still lost the leg because that poison just annihilates
Traveled
all
that
the
fast.
cells and muscles and all that stuff. Oh, and one other thing was one major downfall that I can say of being a lone wolf is there's nobody to watch over you. Guard duty. When you
true.
sleep, there's nobody standing there making sure there's nobody coming around.
That's very true. That I had not thought of.
So you have to make sure you're in a good place when you sleep, because there's nobody to watch
And
over you.
And you better learn to be a light sleeper.
Yeah. And like Les Stroud says, when he did a couple of his little things where they take him out in the middle of nowhere, and he says, if I would fall and break my leg, chances are I wouldn't make it for the week or 2 weeks that I'm out here. So if that's the case, if you break your leg and you're out in the middle of somewhere and you're not next to your food or your warmth or your water, chances are you're not going to make it.
No.
Because you have nobody around. Nobody's going to come by and help you pick you up and take you to your camp or whatever. So injuries are very important. And that's like those who know your knives. One of the most important things is a sharp knife, because dull knives are more dangerous to the user than a sharp knife. Just because you have to do more struggling to cut stuff or whatever, and that's when more accidents happen, when you're not careful because of that knife is dull.
Very true.
And it doesn't make sense, because you would think an extra sharp knife would be more dangerous to the user than a dull knife. Because, a dull knife, it's not going to cut me, but you'd be surprised. Yeah, and you have to, that's a good one, calculated risk. Like, there's an old house down there and you don't have somebody to watch you as you're going down there to see if anybody else is watching you. You have to decide, is it worth it for me to go down there and take a chance that I'm going to get caught by somebody, that it could be a trap going in there. There's all kinds of scenarios on that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you're by yourself, or even not by yourself, how do you know that one house that you're going to go into is unoccupied? How do you know there's not traps set in there to snare you and then wait until you're deleted and they come by and loot you? even if you're in a group, you may think it's perfectly fine. Everybody goes in there. You actually have to have plans set up before you actually go in to make sure you survey the area, make sure there's nobody in the area, or make sure you look at tracks to see if there's been people in there or in that vicinity. That way, if there's a lot of traffic, then well, there's somebody's been there, and chances are you don't want to even bother with it. Go somewhere else.
Well, you also got to look at it like this. Even with a well-maintained group, there is always that one person that's got to go down there and kind of scout it out also.
Mm.
Because let's say there's 3 or 4 of you and there's 10 in the house. You don't want everybody to be deleted.
Well, and it's just like the military. Whenever say there's one building that they're going to go in, and they don't have eyes in the sky like the fancy movies and stuff. They don't go straight to that building. They go around, and certain amount of them go this way, certain amount of them go this way, and they survey the area to see if there's any signs of anybody or traps or whatever, and then they move in it as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
After they know that there's nothing on the outside. Yeah, that is true. Walking Dead had a lot of that kind of stuff, to where they go in and whoops, you're busted. Doors come up, and what was that one city that they went into, and they were eating humans? I forget what city that was.
Now I know when
soon as the train thing, where they were all in the train.
Oh,
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
terminal. I mean, you think about it. You got a mag going, can't just anybody come in. Period.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. If you have a camp and stuff, and somebody moseys on in and starts begging for food, that comes up so many different scenarios. And what do you do? Do you give them food? Do you send them on their way? Now, if you give them food, they know where the food is, and they'll keep coming back, or they may keep coming back. If you send them on their way, they know where the food is, and they could tell somebody down the road
exactly
how many people is there. So what do you do? Do you delete that person because you think they may do something, or they may turn you in, or they may do this or may do that? There is such a big array of scenarios like that you could go over. And that's the thing. If you have a mag, you have to discuss those things, and it would be better to do this before anything bad happened. That way, if it was against your religion or against your morals to do something like this, then that's probably not the mag you belong to, and you would probably be better somewhere else, because everybody has different beliefs.
I can just about say, when that scenario happens, that there's not going to be no law and order as we know it today.
Yeah.
There's not going to be, let's say, religion as we know it today. Everything is going to change at that moment, because a person will do what a person has to do to survive then.
There's many ways of looking at it too. So
There is.
yeah.
In other words,
It
we
depends.
just
Is that the person that you want to keep on being that's going to do something very bad to somebody because they may do something?
I'm kind of like this. I would like to say I would help somebody, but at the same time, I would be weary of that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody wanders in, then of course you're gonna have to find out if there's more people out there, how that person is, and once you done settled all that, what is he good at? Where can you put this person? But still, you're gonna be wary of this person.
Yeah, and that's what I said. That's when it's there's a lot of people that will never even know what a mag is until, and like I said, it just a group. Not even think that, oh, I need to have a group, until after everything's already hit the fan. That's why I said if there's a possibility that you could get a group of family members or whatever the case may be, a poker club or something, and you guys all start talking and you find out every one of you guys are preppers, and then, oh, we should make a mag. And then you start discussing things like, what do we do if one of us is a bad apple or something, and then you start getting in a lot of weird conversations. But to me, it would be better to have those before than trying to figure it out as you go, because you find out a lot of times when you think one way and you end up with a few of your members not here anymore because it didn't go the way you planned.
Well, now there was a show out a while back ago, and in that show, it had a family, or let's say husband and wife, that did not prep. And they flat out said what they would do was go to people who prepped and take what they had by any means possible. And yeah, there will be people like that. Exactly what? Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's all anyone can do.
And that's why I always bring up with the life straw, because I watched a prepper guy say he doesn't carry around any containers of water. He carries around a life straw, and which is the dumbest thing that you could do, because what happens? You start sucking on that thing and it breaks. What happens if you lose it? Whoops. What are you going to do now? You have no container to boil water in. You didn't carry anything else for you to survive with. and that irritates me so much because there are so many people that were, oh, that's a great idea, this and that. And I'm like, teaching people how to fail over and over and over again. That's the thing that irritates me. And I'm not saying I'm no expert of survival or anything like that, but I think of that. Well, Lysol straw, that's good. Yeah, you can get a drink of water. But what happens if that fails? Just like, oh, I have this lighter. Oh, I'm good. I'm all set. No. What happens if it fails? You have a backup. And then you have a backup of a ferrocene rod, you have a magnifying glass, and so forth and so forth. And that, to me, is a smarter plan, to have a backup of a backup.
Exactly.
And
And
who cares if you never use that backup? It's there, and that's what a prepper's for. Who cares if you don't use that can of beans in the basement? It's there.
how many people has anybody seen pull a lighter out and it's got duct tape wrapped around it?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's definitely a prepper.
Yeah.
But get up on YouTube, learn how to make a water purification system. Like
not one way,
no,
at least 5 ways. That's the difference. Because every situation is not going to be the same.
true.
And every location's not the same. Like
There,
somebody from the desert trying to tell me how to start a fire with this and that is not going to work way up here in the northeast, because we have moisture up here. Same thing with the West Coast or wherever.
right.
You have to learn multiple ways of doing things.
Now, I did see something that I liked a while back ago, and I've never really thought about it since. Somebody took some clear plastic and, let's say, made a tin out of it, but in the middle of it, it sagged. Okay. Now, it collected moisture up on it to where water would drip down to the center of it. What you do, put your little pinhole in there, not no great big one, to where it would drain into a bucket. But still, you're going to have to purify that water. And I don't care what anybody says, before anybody drinks any water, boil it. Because boiling it will kill the biggest part of the germs, or I can't think of the other word I'm wanting to use. But you'll come closer to having purified water by boiling it than you would to just pull it out of a stream or something like that.
Wow, that is a bit nippy for Phoenix.
What's that?
It's going to go down to 28. Ooh-wee. There's going to be a lot of people freaking out. Oh, it's the end of the world.
God, I'd love to be there.
Like I said, when it was snowing, there was, oh man, there was people panicking. It was like they're running around. Ah! They're going in the store and buying all kinds of stuff, and it's the end, end of times. I said, it's snow. It never snows here. We're all gonna die.
Well, now there's a time or two, and I'm going off the news. Okay, it has snowed in Phoenix, Arizona, a couple of times.
Phoenix, yeah, not Tucson.
No. Wait a minute. Where's the gambling part in Arizona?
The gambling part?
Yeah, where is legal? Where they have the casinos and everything?
That's nowhere, unless it's a reservation. That the only place that's Las Vegas.
Okay,
Yeah.
Las
That's-
Vegas.
That's
What I'm-
Nevada. Yeah, that snows all the time.
Yeah.
'Cause it's right there by the mountain. But there are places in Arizona that snows every year.
Now, Sandy says here in Texas, the wind is whipping around real bad. The only thing I can say is people like us, we shouldn't have to be told to go get this and go get that. We should already be prepared, period.
Yeah. And I gotta, and it's still not uploaded. I've
It's
been
still not?
uploading a video for about 16 hours now,
Good
ish.
Lord.
And it's complete frozen, so I'll have to probably re-upload it. And
Damn.
I'm gonna
What
put
is-
it simple. I'm kind of nasty, and maybe that gets through to some people or whatnot. And it basically says I'm not sugarcoating it.
What internet system are you with for it to be that slow? Dial up?
It's not internet. Because my internet is 500 megabytes download and I think 200 or 300 upload.
Shit,
So
mine
usually I upload within 5-10 minutes.
ain't that fast. Truthfully, I don't know what it is.
Well, I have a bigger connection for gaming
Yeah.
and for YouTube rather. That way I don't have to sit there all day and upload, because I come from the days of 14 kilobyte download speed.
We come from the days of dial up.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get up my internet system and tell them I want to upgrade mine because I'm going to be gaming.
Well, how much do you know your specs of your connection, your upload and download speed?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, that's probably one main thing that you need to know when getting internet.
Well, see, I've tried to get on with know your speed of the internet and everything. You know, free, no card needed. And then when I go to fill something out on it, they want my debit card information. I'm not getting it.
No, just go to Google and type speed test.
Okay.
And as soon as you do, of course, there's going to be ones that try to get you to upgrade with them and stuff like that. But the main thing is to see what your speed is.
Okay. I'm wanting to say, and don't quote me on this, I'm going from years ago. 720, something like that? I don't know.
720 what?
I don't know. It just said 720. I just shut it down. I'm like it. Yeah, I don't either. I have no idea. Hell,
Yeah.
it could have been 7,550 million. I still wouldn't know.
Well, there's things after the numbers is what the important things are. Is it megabytes, kilobytes?
Bushcraft, you making me look like an imbecile up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that does sound like pixels. That's your camera. Like on here, StreamYard, unless you pay for the big bucks, it only broadcasts at 720p. which means the pixels, which is fine.
Well, let's change the subject because I have no idea what the hell you talking about, and I'm looking like I'm extremely a dumbass up here.
Yeah, if best, like I said, the best thing you can do is do a speed test first, and then see what you actually have, and that'd be my suggestion to anybody that's getting internet. The first thing that you ask them is how much is the upload and download speed. Because a lot of people only say download speed.
Don't worry.
Which is fine if you're just downloading stuff, but if you're going to be on YouTube or you're going to play a game or anything in that situation, upload speed is very important. $150 megabytes, that's not too bad. 80, yeah. I think I pay $55, and I'm grandfathered into a deal, so I would love to go to the higher speed, but if I do, it gets me out of this cheap one. And it, like I said, it is cheap because I'm getting 500 megabytes download and 300 up for $55, which is cheap. But as soon as I upgrade, then I get out of that, and then they're going to stick me with a big bill after 6 months.
Wait a minute. Download 671.
Don't talk when you're doing the tests.
The other one was 65.
Oh, download 65. So I would probably say upload was probably 20.
The first one was 675. The second one was 65.
Yeah, but again, 675 what?
Okay, download speed 664 MP.
Okay, that's a megabyte.
Okay, the upload speed, which is 650 KB PS.
KB.
Yeah. Don't I told you what this shit means.
There's your issue right there with your internet. Your upload speed sucks.
Duh.
That's probably the reason why you're doing every once in a while your mic sounds weird.
Yeah.
It's because it can't upload the sound.
Well, damn it, I need to call my provider.
Yeah.
And ask them what the hell's going on. Let me hook my other one up and see what I got from here.
Yeah, and when you do speed tests, make sure you go to multiple sites. And if you're on the East Coast, you can check. You can switch where you want the test to go to. So I'll always go to San Antonio, Texas, because it's a big data center down there.
Right.
So I switch it to Texas because most of the time when you do a speed test, they get something that's real close to you to make it look like you got a big connection, but it's like a false negative because most of the time when you search something, it's clear across the other side of the United States or world for that matter.
Well, now, for the location that I'm at, there ain't but one internet service out here, period.
Oh, yeah, that kind of sucks.
Kind of hell.
Yeah. And a lot of times you can actually do searches to see if there's any other providers with the speed test.
Well, I'll check it out as soon as we get off of here, you know. But like I said, I don't have but one provider, and they suck half the time.
Yeah,
Good.
that's quite expensive right there, and the download is almost 600, and the upload is only 35. That's another good one where, like Jeff's, he has a good download, but his upload is horrible.
Well, my price is not far from hers.
Oh, really?
I'm paying.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm gonna say within $10.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Starlink is pretty expensive as far as I've been told, because that's something I've checked into because of being, you know, if I go off grid somewhere to be able to still do YouTube, I'm going to need satellite of some sort.
Well, now, question with Starlink, would you still need a modem for that, or what?
Yeah, the modem is to connect to
Right.
wherever.
So what about the power to fire up the modem?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna need power. Yeah.
Yeah. How would you go? Who would you get in touch with about Starlink? Just out of curiosity, I asked him.
I would Google Starlink.
Okay.
I don't know what the name of the company. It's probably Starlink.com, but or Starlink Internet or something like that. But that'd be my guess.
We'll expect a couple phone calls tomorrow. Oh no, I got to go pick my car up tomorrow. They've had it since last Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you backstage, but since you already said it.
Yeah, the parts finally came in from the dealership. There you go.
There's a good tip for you. Turn everything off and hold your head just right when uploading.
Hold your head up.
Well, thank God she didn't tell me to raise one of my legs up. I'd be SOS.
Starts, yeah, you have to buy all the equipment for Starlink. By the way, Jeff,
it seemed Starlink
$580 just for the equipment, and as far as I heard, it's upwards to $150 to $200. But you can use it wherever.
I can't even afford to buy a stick of chewing gum. So that's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ginger, they said for our area between 2 and 3 inches of rain. And that right much. But where I live at right now, it seems like every storm splits and goes around us.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
It is, except for the dry season when you plant in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I really would love to see it snow here this year, you know, to help with the ground situation.
Okay, I'll send it all your way.
Hey, that's fine.
You can have it. It's been raining. Well, it's you know that mist that gets you soaked and you don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
You go outside for 5 minutes, you're soaked and like, where'd this come from?
That sounds like the humidity we have down here in the summertime.
Yeah. But on the subject of the internet, there are some places that are they pretty much monopoly on the service, because that's all. If you only have one place to get internet,
They're going to be shitty.
it kind of sucks.
Well, now Verizon is supposed to be running internet down through here, our area, but I don't
Fiber
know.
optic would be nice.
I think that's what they're running. Fiber.
Yeah, it used to be
But-
Google, the Google connection. I forget what they called it, but that was fiber, which was 1,000 download, the first plan,
Yeah.
and like 500 upload or 600 upload, something like that. It's crazy. If you could get that's
Oh, I
really
love
nice.
Yeah, if Verizon was to come through and they do what they say they're going to do, the person we got it with now, they'd go out of business for this area.
Oh yeah, they'd have to lower their price.
Yeah. And another thing, it's in the works for us to get it. But the bad thing is we don't know when we're going to get it.
How long? Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been in that with dial-up. Oh, cable's coming through here pretty soon. Cable didn't make it, but DSL did. Which DSL is okay because it's the same signal all the time. Cable, if you're living in a city and you have a bunch of people around you on there all at the same time, your connection goes down. DSL, it stays the same, but it's not very high. And DSL is kind of iffy because it uses a phone line. Cable, most of cable is fiber optic now.
Great Jam said they won't even connect to our house because it's new construction.
Huh.
That don't make sense. I kind of wish it was like cable used to be, where you never mind. I can't go there.
Behave yourself.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say. I shimmied up poles myself.
Well, see, the good thing about it is when they started coming out with these here TVs that you could hook cable directly up to it. If you was to take the box back and tell them that you didn't want it no more, you would not get a bill, but yet it was cable still running to it.
Yeah. Now they hit a button and it's off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've rented a place a few times and hooked the cable up. Oh, free cable. Awesome.
Exactly. But you see, a lot of times back in the day, they would run tests. They would knock everybody's out.
Yeah.
And the people would call up, what happened to my cable? Well, you weren't supposed to have cable to begin with. How long you been living there? Well, you got back pay, you're going to have to pay. That's how they caught a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
That's just like at sheriff's department on the day after Halloween. They run an ad in the paper, and I kid you not, this is no joke. There was another county selling bad drugs. If you bring them in here, we will test it to see if it was real. Do you know how many people took drugs in up there to have them tested?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do that. Those little things all the time.
I mean, come on.
There's some that they know that they have warrants. And
Yeah.
they'll do a sting to where they call all these people up and say, "You just won 50 Nick's tickets. Just come down and pick them up." And
Yep.
they'll sit in a lobby somewhere. As soon as they come in, and I'm
Man.
so and so here for my tickets. Oh, here comes the cuffs.
Yeah. Now, the town I used to live in, okay, they built a new police department. And the building, well, they didn't build it. They renovated the building. That used to be a bank. All right. And they still had the what you call the box out there where you send your check to the teller and everything. A guy come up and he was past 3 sheets in the wind. And he got to talking to one of the secretaries up there. Next thing he knew, the cops was helping him out of the car in handcuffs.
Yeah, Mr. Cheddar Pepper. That's my uncle's birthday is today too.
Really? Elvis
Yeah.
is what's today.
Yeah.
Come on, what? Where's all this information at?
My son's birthday was yesterday, but I didn't want to wish him happy birthday because he's deployed and he's missing his son, which his first birthday was 2 days before that. So he has to be deployed on his son's first birthday and his 30th birthday. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does. But
Yeah. And it was rough on him.
well, my brother, my real brother, he retired. Okay, let's put it like that.
Hey, zombie.
Just about everybody's birthday, he was deployed. And he started out with the first Iraq, Iran, and all that. You know, he was in each and every one of them. And I know he has had a really rough time. I'm not going to say.
Oh yeah.
You know, he literally saw action, and now it's telling on him. And I'm going to leave it alone at that.
He's had a hard time coping.
Mm-hmm. Because every once in a while he gets up on streams that I'm on. You know, he don't say nothing, but we know he's there.
Yeah, and like I said, that really surprised me that I looked at my analytics and 42%. Well, yeah, 42% watch this live on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, you figure there's only limited people that are chatting right now. And we're at 75 right now.
We are. Yeah,
so
we are.
There's a lot of people are sitting there watching TV, and I appreciate you guys, the ones out there watching TV.
Yeah.
And I really wish there was a way, you know, that people who are watching TV could hit a button and it would say, "Hey," you know, something, so they can say, "Hey, I can speak."
It's a crying shame they can't hook a pad up to the TV and type.
Well, just saying hi would be good. You know,
It is
because they have a thing for the thumbs up. Why not right next to the thumbs up say hi or hello?
And believe it or not, that does help creators a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is hitting that thumbs up.
Yeah. Plus, you get to know who's you know behind the TV or in front of the TV rather.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times if
Oh.
they don't, get on the phone or get on a computer, we'll never know them.
Ginger Ninja says they make remotes with keypads.
Oh yeah.
If somebody has a remote like it, can they interact with the creators? That's
Yeah,
another.
they have some of the smart TVs have Bluetooth to where you can connect a thing up, but the TVs or the app on the TV doesn't have the ability to, you know, have a chat there. You can see the chat, but you can't interact with the chat.
Okay.
Some of the smart TVs. Some
Well,
of them are more like apps, like on your Chromebook and stuff.
now the TV I'm watching you on right now, I can see the chat going up on it, but like you said, I cannot get up on there and say nothing.
Yeah.
Antonio, we
Uh,
truly appreciate that.
yeah. And that's a lot of times, and that's the thing. I would not have known that there was that 42% watching me on a TV, because I just think, well, there's 78 people in here, and there's a bunch of people that don't like typing.
Yeah.
But to find out that there's
Yeah.
42% are watching from a TV.
Well,
Which
now,
there's nothing wrong with it. I found that fascinating that
well,
there
now
was that many people.
I do know for a fact on TV you can hit the thumbs up and subscribe to that person
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
TV.
yeah. And that's what I do. If I'm a lot of times, I'll watch a live or whatever. The first thing I do is hit the thumbs up, because if I'm subscribed to the person,
It's gonna pop up.
I like the person, so I'm going to go ahead and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up hitting the like button first, and then I'll start watching it.
Yeah. Now, Sister in Christ just stated she's on a tablet. You know, and
Hey,
I
sister
mean,
in Christ, good to see you.
the same thing. You can hit. I'll tell you what. For everybody out there, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. That helps a creator more than y'all know.
Yeah, it's like a habit, I guess you would say. Now, if it's a new channel that you're coming to, like if like Vineyard Chicks are right after my live. So if you've never seen the Vineyard Chicks, and I tell you to go over there after the live, and normally you would watch them for a few minutes to see what kind of people
Content.
they are.
Yeah.
And then you decide, oh, I like them. You're going to hit the subscribe button. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
But if it's like you come back here every week and you watch, usually the first thing you do is hit that thumbs up, unless you forget for some reason. And then there's always people.
Are you trying to hint at me or something?
Well, there are those people that hit the button twice.
Yeah, that second time don't count.
You got to hit it 3 times.
Yeah.
But we do. like again, I'm Vineyard Chicks are coming up right after this one at 9:00. And they got a song list here. Let's see what they have for this week.
Yeah, Dixie done got her ear peeled to it. No.
Everyone knows that.
No.
Cornerstone. You're supposed to guess who sings it, Jeff.
Well, yeah. Really? I never even heard the song.
Everyone knows that.
Knows what?
That's the name of the song.
You know, to be true, I don't think I've listened to the radio in I know a good 5 years.
It's Lost Wave Song.
I never heard of them.
Cornerstone.
No.
Toby Mac.
I don't know.
Now him I've heard of, but not the song.
Fast Car.
Nope.
Tracy Chapman.
Yep.
Gospel.
What type of gospel?
That's just it. Gospel.
I thought it was going to be bluegrass gospel. I was going to say, yeah, I'll watch that one.
That's Mainskin.
Never heard of either one.
Blowing in the Wind.
I've heard that in Kansas, ain't it?
No, Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Really?
Yeah. Daylight by David Cusher.
Mm-mm.
Bright Lights, Matchbox 20.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that.
Her Diamonds by Rob Thomas, which is
No.
Matchbox. Why can't he
Be friends.
be you?
Never heard that one.
Why can't he be you?
Why can't he be you?
That's Patsy Cline. I think there was an extra he in there.
Not unless they were.
Three Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis. And
I like
You Got the Beat.
The Go-Go's, wasn't it?
Yeah, they don't have the artist on that one.
I think it was
Bring Me to Life.
No.
Yeah, that's the one I got them doing, and they do a really good job on that one.
Well, they got the beat.
No, Bring Me to Life.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. My genre is the 70s, 80s. That's about it.
Well, that Bring Me to Life is 80s. It might be 2000. I don't know.
No.
Sure.
And if you want to go country, I'm talking like Conway, Loretta, artists like that. And there are a few good ones today, but not that many, not no more, not like it used to be. It's everything's dying out. In other words,
There's some good there's still some good ones out there.
I'm not saying there ain't.
Yeah, and a lot of them are new artists that you never hear about because, I mean, like Oliver Guy.
Yeah.
Unless he hit that one song, nobody would ever known this guy.
True, very true.
That one song, and he just blew up from there. He got signed and everything. I know he signed because I got in trouble for having his music on my channel.
Well, now see, Oliver has got that voice I like to hear. Okay.
Yeah.
But now even some artists has got that one voice. I wish it had a mute button.
I've got a couple. They're cousins, and both of them have channels. They do better on TikTok than they do on YouTube, but a couple of their songs are really, really good.
Have you
And
ever heard the
one of
group?
them started following me on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I have no idea why, but I'm probably I was thinking about contacting her and ask her if they want to come on. If it's their original music, I don't think I would get in trouble. But if they do, like covers or anything like that, it probably would get in trouble.
Now, there's two groups I'm starting to follow a little bit. One of them is Cotton Picking Kids. That's the name of them. And the other one is they're triplets. All three of them are sisters.
Oh yeah, I know them too. The three blondes, the blonde girls. Yeah,
the Holloway, something like that.
Yeah, they sing in the bins.
Yeah.
Corn bins or whatever you call them, grain bins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cheap way to get a good sound. If
Just
you
like
don't have the
shooting
equipment,
gasoline.
it's a cheap way to get a good sound.
That's like back in the 50s. They would go in the bathrooms and practice singing, to get their harmony going. But I'm going to say they're upcoming artists.
Yeah.
They are pretty good. Hello, Ark Wildman.
Hey, Ark. Yeah, and people badmouth TikTok and stuff a lot of times, but TikTok is awakening a lot of people up. And like I said, there's other things on there, like artists starting out.
Yeah.
There are artists that are getting seen by somebody coming across their channel, and they get signed and things just because.
Well, now I remember when internet first come out. This right here, this type of platform. People were saying, "Oh, it's devil. It ain't no good," like that. But it depends on what content you bring up.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
You can say anything.
Yeah.
The sidewalk is evil because you stub your toe on it every time you go over it. But
start wearing shoes.
Yeah.
I don't, like you just said, I don't care what it is. To some people, it's evil. To other people, they look at it in a good way.
Yeah, and look how many things that have been said that was bad, and it was all over the media, this and that, and find out that it was a ploy from a company that put all this bad information out so that their product would be better.
Oh, I ain't even going there with that one.
And you could say that like from the people in the north of Richmond.
That's a damn good one right there. I hadn't even thought about that.
But it's getting at that time. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here. Make sure I get the right one.
I'm surprised that you ain't got it where they can go from this over to that.
Yeah, I gotta get with Vineyard Dad so we can set that up one day.
Vineyard Dad, hint, hint.
So we can set it up when this one ends. Everybody automatically gets sent over to the Vineyard Chicks.
Exactly.
Because I had that set up for Crazy Irish. So if I do a premiere or something, and she goes live right after it, everybody gets sent over to her channel.
Okay. Miss Grape Jams said, LOL. He said he will.
But make sure everybody gets over there. And again, Jeff will be live Wednesday,
7:00 p.m.
7. I think 101 said he's going to be live tomorrow, which will probably be Friday.
Maybe
Or
Saturday.
Thursday, or Saturday, or Sunday. Who knows?
I got to get up with Vineyard Dad to get his phone number so I can call him up and talk junk. He sounds like a cool guy.
I think I need to get a hold of 101 and give him some ideas.
Okay.
About shows. I think that's his niche right now. He doesn't know what he's so busy. He doesn't know what he's going to talk about when the live comes up. He's like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, well, he's done. His mind is wore out. Look how long he's been doing this.
Yeah.
He's burned out. So I think the world of 101. I really do. But when you burned out, you burned out.
Yeah. If, everybody don't know, I made a video because there are a lot of people sick right now and hurt and you name it. A prayer video, prayer for healing. And I told everybody if they put it in the comments and stuff, I'll add it to the description. So every time that somebody watches that video, that's an extra prayer going out for those who are sick and whatnot. And I guess I could put the link to that.
Sniffer, we're doing pretty good.
You would think I would have thought of this ahead of time, huh?
Yeah. I'm doing great. I'm above ground. That's all I can ask.
There you go.
Really? Karen V said that was unsubbed.
What was unsubbed?
I don't know.
Oh.
Not unsuited. I have no idea. I'm just reading you. Look.
Oh.
I have one question.
Okay. She went over there and found out she's unsubbed.
I got one question, and I'll probably stir up a hornet's nest. But every married man in chat will understand what I'm talking about. Why is it women has more questions than you do answers?
Well, I'll give you one better. I did find you and Dixie. I'm just going to say Jeff, you need to pay attention to your driving. Let me go ahead and play this, and we'll head over to the Vineyard Chicks after this is over.
My wonderful husband.
Oh.
I got the ticket. He was driving my car.
Oh.
I'm not guilty.
Oh.
He is.
Yeah.
Let me explain what happened.
I
get the ticket in the mail, and I go, "What's this?" He says, "Just pay it." I said, "What happened?" He says, "I'm at the corner of Eddie and Dudley, and I turned right on a yellow light." I said, "You went through a yellow light?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "I'm not paying it. We're going to fight this."
You have to fight him.
Yeah. So anyway, our son was in the hospital, had a very bad car accident, and he was going there 3 times a day. So I said, "We're going to fight this." So Wednesday, we looked at the video for the first time. And I said, "You went through a red light." And so that's where we stand.
So you came here today to tell me he's guilty.
I'm not guilty. The ticket's in my name.
No,
I'm not guilty.
No, I understand that. I said, but you came here today to tell me he's guilty. So the first thing you did was throw him under the bus.
I'm not throwing myself under. You know?
Yeah.
So you think he's really guilty, huh?
When I looked at that video, if I was a policeman, I would say he was guilty.
Guilty.
Me too.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I mean, it was a little bit close. A little bit close.
I want you to assume that you're a policeman right now, okay?
Yeah.
You're wearing Inspector Quinn's badge, okay?
Okay?
And you look at the video, and then you look at the time on the video. Let's see the front face sheet, please. See where it says red time? You're going to put an arrow there.
0.3?
It says 0.3. You know what that means?
No.
That means he went through the light when it was red
3 seconds?
for 0.3 of a second.
Oh, 3/10. So it was close.
Well, you just said he's definitely guilty. I'm trying to explain to you. Now,
0.3 of a second, that's not much.
right now, let me finish.
Okay.
Do you go through this every day?
Yes, Your Honor.
We've been happily married for 43 years, right?
Yes, dear.
There's the key words. Yes, dear.
You know, when my wife and I meet people, they usually say, how long have you been married? And I say, we've been happily married for 5 years. Now, my wife is much younger looking than I am, but even though, so they say, oh, you've been happily married for 5 years. Is she your second or third wife? I say, oh, no, we've been married 50 years. We've been happily married for 5. But you've been happily married for how long?
Almost 43 years.
43 years. All right, now I'm going to make you a judge, okay? There
Okay.
you are. Can I call you Linda? You don't mind being
Linda,
called? All right.
that's fine.
All right, Linda, here's the deal. You're the judge, and the statute that set up this offense, right, allows 0.2 of a second to get through the light, and they don't charge you.
Okay.
And
Missed it by 1.
1/10.
and how do you handle this case? It's 0.3 of a second. Do you give him the benefit of the doubt, right, or do you say, hey, 0.3, pay the fine? What do you do?
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Because it's your
And he
husband.
has to take me to dinner.
Black Bell,
That's the deal.
Well,
McDonald's.
I have to agree with her, Your Honor.
it's been my custom. It's been my policy, in fact. Without the city coming in and proving the calibration, I think the difference between 0.2 of a second and 0.3 of a second is so small, right, that I usually give the benefit of the doubt, right? Particularly when they come in with some high-powered defense like you.
You don't have to take me to dinner.
No, I'm not going to take you.
Okay.
I've been happily married for 5 years. That is dismissed.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you over at Vineyard Chicks.
I feel for that guy. He got to live with that every day.